were on the Ark of the Covenant. You're very positive, remarkable. Yeah. Have I? Yeah.
You should be great kick. You should be great footballer.
No, wouldn't waste my time.
It's one of the days we actually that we turn the sovereign seal and we read the proclamation. Are we going to do it today? I've done it already this morning.
It's up to you.
No?
I don't need to do it if you've done it already.
That's the Ohm stick. Pity there isn't a bit of sunshine now. We want to put the shadow on that and show you how, you know, they're the two 5-string harps. That's what they represent. I know there's more strings than that in them. And they were on the Ark of the Covenant. And that's, you see all the information and knowledge for that. That's the, hello. That's the wheel.
Big one.
Oh,
Your daddy and mommy.
Sorry. Buddy, over here. But I don't like.
I can't see that. Can you see that? Yeah. Push it in. Right. We all know about the harp. The two harps.
No, the two harps. Hold on.
That that's the eye we were talking about. You know, the sun this morning. You look through that and you see that's where the sun comes in there this morning. You see those two big stones? Now, Cromwell, he camped his troops here, and Arton was his son-in-law, and they desecrated all the stones. All that information was on those stones, and he executed the Bishop of Limerick, Bishop O'Brien. And Bishop O'Brien put the cross of Cromwell on him, and he said, "You'll be dead within 40 days," and Arton was dead within 8 days.
The son.
Huh?
His son. Sorry,
Son-in-law.
Son-in-law.
And that's what they were doing here. The way the Irish people would never know where they came from or what they're doing. In other words, they wanted the sovereignty is what they want. All sovereignty comes from God. And that's what's important. But those two 5-string harps, that's the eye. And you saw those church, Temple Noor, with the sun coming in there. See the eye? And that's the hub of the wheel. That's the arc of the, that's the wheel, look. That's the fellows of the wheel, if you follow that around, look. And you have a wheel. And the sun box and the sound box, the first telescope of mankind. The blueprint for the current, how you build your current. Turn it upside down. The present moon. And when you put the two together, latitude and longitude, everything you want to know about our civilizations. I said, all sovereignty comes from God, but no man or woman understands God. But you can understand the Ark of the Covenant that He gave us, and that's the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark is only the box that carries them. And the Hebrew people lost that. You never take the harp to war. And that's what they did. And they lost it, and they came here looking for it. They dug up towers. This is old Grange. And that's how they did it. That's the first string. There's 5 strings, your hands. You stand and you look at south. Look, there's your 5 strings. And you put the sun ship and the moon ship. As the sun is after rising there, that grows all our biomass. And you put the two together. That's your intellect and reason. how every child has that. That's how you understand planet Earth. We showed you those grasses. You see, farming, they were talking about farming this morning, and it grows up as far as that. Look, this is the summer solstice, so those grow up to that. And then in winter they go right down to the ground, there's nothing. And then on the 21st, the whole cycle starts again. And that's the origin of our farming and that. And that's why it's important to know that. But that's your first string, it's your plumb line, your straight edge, your measuring tape. It's written in Ogham, which is the first structured language of mankind. The second is hieroglyphics. And that's what's very important, that we know where all that comes from. And it's the eye, that's why it's there. And Cromwell, he broke, when they were here, they were using the Brian Brew harp at a later stage here. And they took the eye off, they broke that. They also that's Anno Domini, the 2 5-string ones, the 2 of them. Whereas that's much older, the harp on its own. And the 2 sovereign seals then, when you put them up to the mirror, you see the harp of the psaltery. With that sound coming out it is. So I'm going to do that for you now. Oh, this is how man learned. Look, see the image on the stone? That's your first cinema. You know, your television.
Yeah.
You know, everything you want is on that. The sundial, the compass, the wheel. Imagine those are strings. And that's the Abraham and Moses stick that they came out of the desert. Look, if you don't look at the stick now, look down at the shade. And you see the sundial, you see the compass and the wheel. That's what that is about. And that's what your ancestors were teaching here, and that's what they left that knowledge for you. Now, how they made the circle. You put down, that's the ohm stick again. Can you see the shade? That's your sundial, your compass, your wheels. The sun could be a little brighter. It's coming out, look.
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Light and shade. And that's why you come in on this side in the daytime. Some people do 3 rounds of this, and in nighttime you do the other way around. You follow the moon. The moon goes that way and the sun that way. And that's the difference. If you do it when they were trying to put curses and things, they did it the opposite way. There you are now, look.
Lovely. That's great.
You see it now?
Yeah,
Yes.
very clear.
So there's there's your watch.
Yeah.
You're measuring time. It's all about measurement. And it's all about, that's what it's all about. Mathematics, science. And that's the first computer known to mankind. Everything is on that. And as I said, nobody understands God. If you can understand all that information, because your intellect is good your 5 senses. And that's what it's about. But you put down that stick, and you take your string from the string, and you walk around and you make the circle. And that's what it is. And you stand in that circle. That's why you're the sovereign. You're in the centre of all that knowledge and information. And that's truth, knowledge and information. If you want to build something...
I was doing that beyond in New York. I'm an architect.
There you are. That's
I fell out big time with an architect.
And there you are.
Yep.
And that's all. That's your measuring tape, your plumb line, your straight edge.
That's
what
right.
our ancestors had. And to you know, in buildings and the cross, you know, cross. You build it and then...
When you're putting in a radius,
right.
that's you have to take a point from somewhere,
Yeah.
and then when you stick it in the ground, and you get your measuring tape.
And you cross it.
Yes.
And that gives you the square.
Exactly.
It's all about mathematics, science, but this is where it comes from.
Yeah.
That's 10,000 years. Your ancestors, 10,000 years, you know today because your ancestors knew it. And that's the information they carried. And why aren't all the children in the state being taught that information? You know, instead of drugs and everything else.
But what do you think of an architect, a big shot architect that hadn't a clue what he was talking about?
Yeah, well, he got well paid for it.
Yeah. But
it's about money today.
He was getting better paid probably than I was.
But Vincent, who's a builder as well, he understands, you know, all that. You go back to the foundation, and that's all we're doing. Go back and tell you. We're not asking you to go back yourself, but just where it came from, where the knowledge was carried from.
Yeah.
And you're talking about from the Middle East right across Europe and North Africa to here. And they thought that was all floodplain. I remember when that was all floodplain. They came from the Shannon by boat. They found the sacred